Welcome to Keeping Up with Dabby. Today I will be sharing a story about my boyfriend. His name is Alex. Alex have a friend called Mark. They were more than business partners, they were like brothers. They had known each other since college, sharing a small dorm room and big dreams. Their dream was to build a company together. A company that would change how people lived. They called it Innovate. Alex was the inventor. He could sit for hours, soldering tiny wires and writing lines of code, turning ideas into real things. He created smart lights that learned your habits and a speaker that could tell when you were sad and play your favorite music. Mark was the talker. He had a smile that could light up a room and a way with words that made people believe in their dream as much as they did. Mark finds the money, and Alex, my boyfriend, built the products. They were a perfect team. For 5 years, they worked side by side. They had no money at first, eating instant noodles and sleeping in the office on old sofas. They shared every high and every low. They celebrated their first big sale with a cheap bottle of soda and cried on a night when their biggest deal fell through. Their bond was unbreakable. Everyone said so. Then, things started to change. A big investment firm gave them a huge amount of money. Millions of dollars. Suddenly, they weren't working out of a dusty office anymore. They had a fancy building with glass walls and a team of 50 people. Mark began wearing expensive suits and driving a new sports car. He was always on his phone, always in meetings with investors. Alex was happy for him, happy for their success. He still spent his days in the lab, building the new, big product that was supposed to make them famous. A complete smart home system called the Blueprint. But Mark started to act differently. He stopped coming to the lab. He would have private meetings in his office, closing the door and telling Alex it was just business stuff. He talked about their company as if it were a number on a page, not the family they had built. Alex would try to talk to him, to get back to the way things were. "Remember the noodles, Mark?" he'd say. Mark would just smile a strained smile and say, "We've moved past that, Alex. We're big now." One evening, Alex was working late. He was excited about the progress on the blueprint. He went to Mark's office to show him a new feature, a holographic display for the system. The door was a little open. Alex saw a document on Mark's computer screen. He shouldn't have looked, but a strange feeling, a cold knot in his stomach, made him stop. The document was an email. It was from Mark to the head of the big investment firm. The words blurred, but some stood out like flashing lights, finalizing the buyout. Alex is the only obstacle. Concerns about his management style are solid. Once he's out, we can move forward with the sale. Alex felt his world shatter. It was like a physical blow. The air left his lungs. He felt cold, then hot with rage. He had built this company, given his life to it, and his best friend was selling it from under him. The private meetings and the business stuff weren't about making the company better, they were about getting rid of him. Mark had been painting a picture of him as a problem, a liability. All the friendship, all the shared dreams, had been a lie. He waited for Mark to come back. When Mark walked in, he was smiling, holding a coffee cup. "Still here?" he said, like nothing was wrong. "What's at the buyout, Mark?" Alex asked, his voice shaking. Mark's smile faded. His face went blank, then hard. He didn't even try to lie. "It's a sale," he said simply. "A very big one. For me." "And what about me? What about Innovate?" Alex's voice broke. "The company we built. You were holding us back, Alex," Mark said, his voice cold and flat. "You're a great builder, but you're not a leader. You're too stuck in the past. This company is worth hundreds of millions. I'm taking my share, and I'm moving on. It was just business. Just business." Alex said quietly. It was our life. It was a friendship. Mark just shrugged. He didn't look sad, didn't look sorry. He looked at Alex like he was an old piece of furniture that was in the way. Alex walked out of the office that night, not with his dreams, but with a broken heart. He was given a small payout for his shares, a fraction of the company's real worth. He watched from the outside as Mark sold Innovate to the big firm, getting a huge amount of money for himself. For months, Alex felt lost. He couldn't go back to the lab. The thought of soldering wires made him sick. But slowly, the pain began to fade. He started to remember why he had started in the first place. It wasn't for the money or the big building. It was for the joy of creating, of building something new. He began working on a small project in his garage. No investors, no partners, just him. He wasn't trying to build a new empire. He was just building for the sake of it. The first few days were hard. The memory of Mark was like a ghost, a reminder of the trust he had lost. But as he worked, he found something important. He found his own strength. He realized that the company Mark had taken was just a company. But the person he was, the builder, the dreamer, that person was still there. And that was something no one could ever take from him.